Okay, slight correction here. Made a little bit of a boo-boo, oversimplified. I'm not going to exactly explain 100% why, because before I explain to you how to do it correctly, because it takes a little bit of experience, and it took me a little while to figure out where I made my boo-boo as well. So anyway, in the video last for permutations, I went over this one with the jelly donuts. Remember that I had 12 donuts assorted, so they're all different, and I had to pick 6 of them. And I had to eat the jelly donut directly after I ate the chocolate dip. Okay, so originally I said, okay, jelly donut, then chocolate dip. Glue them both together. When I glue them both together, those two elements become one. And then I only have 5 positions, and then I go from there. Now, the problem with that, I'll get to in a second. But that's a bit of a boo-boo. It's a pretty good answer. It's pretty darn close. But anyway, it's some good strategies, but either way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the good copy version of the answer, which of course you'll probably notice if you're following the notes that I did make a boo-boo on. And this is what I did. This is actually the better way to do it and the more correct way to do it. Okay, so you have to eat the jelly donut directly after you eat the chocolate dip. So what I did is I broke it into what we call cases. And sometimes it's a really great way to do things, okay? Especially if you're not quite sure how to do something quickly, or if you don't want to oversimplify things. If you actually really map it out, it's the best way to do it. And that's where when you put down the slots in here, rather than using your permutations, it's way better too. So anyway, so here again, I've got 6 positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we've got 12 elements. What I do is I then take I have to have the chocolate dip and the jelly donut right afterwards. So C for chocolate dip, J for jelly donut, 1 and 1, because those are the positions in which they have to be in. And of course, I start in this particular position. Okay, now I know that they can be in other positions. You don't have to eat those 2 first, but this is the first case or the first scenario where it works. So chocolate dip, jelly donut, and then any other donut. Now, of course, if I take those 2, then I go from 12 elements to 10 elements. It goes 10, 9, 8, 7, okay, as I fill out those slots. Now, that's one situation that works, and that totals to 5,040, okay? Then what I do is I just shift these 2 donuts, and I eat them second and third. That means the first slot could be filled by any donuts other than these 2, so 10 donuts, and then my chocolate dip, and then my jelly, and then 9, 8, 7 are the other donuts to fill it all out. And you go 10 times 1 times 1 times 9 times 8 times 7, 5,040. Here, same idea, except of course the chocolate dip and the jelly donut are third. So I go 10 donuts that I could choose from here, because I'm not going to choose these 2, and then 9 donuts, and then I choose those 2, and then 8, and then 7. And then the same thing down here, and I just sort of follow my way along. You'll see I go in this spot, 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 and I just repeat the process. And as you'll see from that I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different scenarios, 5,040 5 times. Now, what I do with those, of course, is you could either have the chocolate dip and the jelly donut here, or here, or here, or here, or here. So I take all of these numbers. They all work, but I add them all up. Again, it's chocolate dip and jelly first, or chocolate dip and jelly second, or chocolate dip and jelly third, or chocolate dip and jelly fourth, or chocolate dip and jelly fifth. Okay, and so it ends up with 25,200 ways. That's the correct way to do it. It's also a great way to show you breaking things up into cases to make things simpler. And it also shows you fixing things in place. So it's a very complicated question, very difficult. Now, why is this one incorrect compared to my other solution? If you're okay with understanding how to do that, that's cool. Okay, move on. Okay, you can come back to this maybe later when you understand this stuff a little bit better. But you've maybe done the homework and things like that. Okay, and we've taken up some questions, and maybe you're getting better and better and better at things. Okay, so why doesn't that work? Well, in this case, if I blend these 2 together, okay, this says I have to eat the jelly and the chocolate dip. But if I say that there's 11 elements in here, one of which is the combined element of the jelly and the chocolate dip, and that's what I did. I went from 12 down to 11. There's no guarantee that the jelly donut and the chocolate dip are there, which means sometimes instead of having 5 positions, I'll have 6 if I don't have the jelly and the chocolate donut. So that's why that doesn't work. Okay, if I was having all 12 donuts, this would work perfectly. Okay, so keep that idea in mind if you're doing things. I think for you guys to really understand how to do that, if you do, great. If you don't, maybe come back and look at this video again and see why that correction may have made a mistake. Maybe you'll never get to that point where you're good. I mean, it took me a little while to figure it out. I had to mull it over while I was driving around yesterday. So anyway, that's a correction. Okay, so hopefully that's okay.